If you have chronic low back pain, then this yin yoga video is for you. Hi, I'm Melissa from Yoga with Melissa, and welcome to episode number 421 of Yoga with Melissa. This is real yoga for real people. We're all about connection. Connection with a teacher and teachings that allow you to connect with your true nature and to a community of people that are dedicated to a genuine path of spiritual transformation. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining us, and we would love to have you join us as a subscriber. When you turn on those notifications and press that little bell, then all of our upcoming classes will show up in your YouTube feed. We have some great classes coming up for you, including on February 9th, we have Yin Yoga for shoulders. On February 16th, we have Yin Yoga for digestion. And on February 23rd, we have our next live class. We put out a new class every Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific. And on the last Friday of every month, we have a live class. And you have voted overwhelmingly that our next live class be Yin Yoga for legs over Yin Yoga for runners. That was clear. If those classes interest you, then press that little bell when you subscribe and it will show up in your YouTube feed, and then you won't miss a single class. If you like today's class, then thank you so much for pressing that like button and letting me know. And let me know what you like about it in the comments. I will let you know at the end of the class what to put in the comments so I know who my fabulous finishers are. I always like to know that by finding out which you put the fabulous finishers are. I tell you what to put in the comments, and then I know who finishes the classes. Make sure you also finish all the way to the end so that I can tell you how to get my fabulous series, 8 Days of Yoga for Back Pain. I've had some amazing feedback on that recently, people that have gone through that whole series and said it's really helped them with their back pain. So I'll tell you how to get that at the end as well. I have a testimonial from Maurizio from Italy that came by email. And Maurizio says, "Dear Melissa, I'd like to thank you so much for letting me discover Yin Yoga. Among all, it's the yoga discipline that I feel so natural and spontaneous for my body. Mind-wise, a session of your Yin Yoga class allows me to gain deep relaxation and leave my mind clear of thought and worries in a fantastic way that I never realized before. To me, it's a perfect combination of the physical, mental, and spiritual components. Thanks again for your generous activity, helping people like me discover new worlds and become better. You're simply the best. Ciao, Maurizio from Italy." So thank you, Maurizio, for taking the time to send me that email, and all of you who take the time to write emails like that and leave your comments on YouTube and iTunes, Instagram and Facebook. And as always, the most in-depth conversations happen in our membership community. Thanks to Squeezed Yoga Clothing for my clothes. Today I'm wearing this fabulous oversized tunic, which means you can breathe normally like a human being, and black leggings. And then thanks to Dusky Leaf for our props. Now this is a class for low back pain, so propping is important. If you have a bolster, great. If you don't have a bolster, then you're going to want to get maybe some pillows from your couch, or maybe even some rolled up blankets. These propping is really important, especially when you lie flat on your back, so that you aren't doing straight leg poses. Not a lot of, you're just not going to do them, so that you're supporting your low back. That's really important, especially since this is a class on low back pain. Also, with the yin class, I like to put a blanket down on my yoga mat, and also because I have a hardwood floor, I tend to be bony in all the wrong places along my back, according to our cultural demands of what it means to be thin in this culture. But anyway, I digress. So an extra blanket underneath your body is useful, so that when you lie on your back, that you don't get that discomfort from lying on your back. So that will be useful. I also have a couple of blocks handy, and a strap can be handy as well. If you don't have those things, then you can improvise a strap from your bathrobe, and things like that can work just as well. So we're going to begin our class with some centering, just to transition from the busyness of our day-to-day life where we get pulled in multiple directions, and to come into the inward focus of a yin class. And I'll get you to do that with the bolster underneath your knees. So you'll lie on your back and either put a bolster underneath your knees, or you can put a folded blanket or some cushions underneath your knees. And if you don't have that, you'll just lie with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Take a deep breath in through your nose and let it fall out of your mouth. And allow yourself to arrive here now. Feel the support of the earth underneath you. And allow the tension from your body to melt into the earth. Okay, so for our first yin posture, you're going to bend your knees, roll to your side, and come up to a seated position. We're going to do butterfly pose, so you'll bring the soles of your feet together and your legs into a diamond shape. And then, unless your knees rest right on the ground, I think it's a really good idea to fill the space so you're supporting your joints. So I'm going to fill the space for me with blocks, but you could fill them with cushions that you have at your home. And then you're going to hinge forward until you feel sensation. You might feel sensation in your inner thighs or your low back. And you can again support yourself here with a bolster. You can sit like this, or you can tip your bolster and sit like this. Okay, so yin yoga is not an aesthetic practice. If you're feeling it, you're doing it, and that's the main thing. So in yin yoga, we come into a posture, we find an appropriate edge, and we stay a while. So unlike a yang posture or practice like hatha yoga or ashtanga yoga or power yoga, and even our day-to-day life, here we're given the opportunity to stop, to listen to the wisdom of our bodies. And these passive floor yoga poses are held for 5 minutes to increase the pliancy of our joints. We pull and pressurize the connective tissues that house our meridian systems and stimulate the movement of energy along the energy passageways, revitalizing the organ systems and harmonizing our physical, mental, and emotional states of being. So here in this first pose, we practice finding an edge. Edge is where we feel sensation, but it doesn't want to be sensational. Edge is going to be different every day. And as I said, it's not an aesthetic practice. So that means we're not taking pictures for Instagram here. We're focusing on what it feels like inside our body. Stillness is really important in a yin yoga practice. We want to come into the posture, allow our muscles to soften, and make a commitment to explore the sensations and emotions without acting in habitual ways of moving when sensations, whether they be physical or emotional, intensify. So we're still. And then we stay for 5 minutes in the poses so that the long held traction coaxes chi and blood through the dense and less pliant connective tissue. The slow release of tension in our joints through long held postures stimulates the flow of chi, which is important as energy tends to stagnate. Okay, from here you're going to slowly make your way out of the posture, and we're going to lie on our backs and feel the effects of this posture. So because this is a class for low back pain, I'm going to recommend that if you are suffering from low back pain, which is highly possible, that you're going to feel the rebounds with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. So those people who are here with low back pain or chronic low back pain are going to feel the rebounds with knees bent and feet flat on the floor, or with the bolster under their knees. And then from here, we're going to take Keyhole Pose. So you're going to cross your right ankle over your left thigh, open your right knee out to the side, draw your left knee into your chest until you feel sensation on the outside of your thigh and into your glutes. Reach around, hold on behind your left knee, draw your left knee in until you feel that sensation. Relax your shoulders, soft jaw, soft throat, soft between your eyebrows and your forehead. So low back pain occurs anywhere below your rib cage to the top of your legs, and it can happen when you lift, reach, or twist, and often it's non-specific. In fact, pretty much everybody will experience low back pain at some point in their lives. It can be caused by strain or injury, herniated discs, arthritis, illness, or spinal problems that you were born with. Okay, so go ahead and release this pose from your body. You're going to feel the effects of this pose in the rebound. So you'll feel the energy moving through your body, particularly on the right side, along the right outside of your hip and into your right glute. Just notice how it feels. And then we'll take the same pose on the other side. So you'll cross your left ankle over your left thigh. Draw your right knee into your chest. Hold on behind. If you can't reach, you can always use a strap here. Or you can put your right foot against the wall. You can always flex your left foot to protect your left knee as well here. And we'll be still here for the next 5 minutes. Remember, edge will be different from side to side, so you may need to back off or go a little deeper on this side. That's just completely normal too. Okay, release this side from your body. Come back to bent knees to feel the rebound. Okay, our next pose is Banana Asana, and the way that this pose works is you have your legs straight and you take them over to the side. And there's also the piece where you take your arms overhead and you side bend. But what I want to say about this is that this is a class for low back pain, so straight legs can be aggravating for the low back. You can, if you try, you can probably feel that it's tugging quite a bit on your low back. So what I'm going to recommend is that if you're suffering from low back pain and chronic low back pain, that you do this. You can still take your legs over to the side, but you do it with your knees bent. And then you take your arms overhead. You could have your arms straight and hold on to your wrist, your right wrist with your left hand, or you can also have your elbows bent. There's also been some issues with people having, if you have super tight shoulders, which is a lot of people, there's no shame in that. Then you're going to take this bolster and you're going to put the bolster over your head, and then you could rest your arms here so that you've got less of a reach with your arms. You can still do the side bend, it just puts less pressure on your shoulders. So some people were telling me they're getting pins and needles in their arms. That's a sign that you've gone too far. So that there's a modification for your arms is using the bolster overhead. So lots of options for this pose. I think this is like the most modified you could be in this pose. Maybe you could even do something, you could even do something like that where you prop your legs, but you do really want your pelvis to be on the ground. It's a side bend. So choose the version that works best for you. I'm going to go back and show you the full expression of the pose, or an expression of the pose. I personally like to do it with my arms, my elbows bent. So I'm going to take my legs over to the side. You can even hook your legs. For me, that's too much. And my arms overhead, I like to do it with my elbows bent and bending to the side. And we're going to stay here for 5 minutes. So with low back pain, as you know, as I'm sure many of you know because you've experienced it, it can be dull or sharp. It can be localized in one area, or it can be spread out over a large area. And you may experience muscle spasms too. If you experience sciatica, the pain can also radiate down your leg. Most of the time, low back pain is acute. That means it comes and then it goes away after a few days. But chronic low back pain is quite debilitating, and it stays for a long time, as the word chronic suggests. And then it also intersects with your mental health, overlapping with depression and anxiety and stress. Okay, so find a way out of this pose. I don't know if you guys heard my phone ringing in the middle of that pose, but honestly put it on Do Not Disturb before, so I have no idea why it went off. So feeling the rebound. And then we'll go ahead and do the other side. So all of those options apply for the other side, of course. So choose which one works for you. And remembering this side can be completely different than the first side. So hopefully this timer works on this side. Okay, so we're going to very slowly and carefully come out of this pose, come back to the center. If you have low back issues, of course, you're going to be keeping your knees bent here. And feel the rebound in your body, particularly along the left sides of the body. Then it is time to roll over onto your stomach. So you might want to you could have a bolster and a block for this. I'll show you how you could use those props in this pose. But let's first start by getting your back ready for this pose. Okay, so you're going to wiggle your hips from side to side to release your low back. And then I like to make space in the low back first in this pose by tucking my right toes under, lifting my right knee, reach back through your right heel. And then let's do that on the other side too. Tuck your left toes under, lift your left knee, reach back through your left heel. And you can feel that that creates space in your low back. Now, because this is a class for low back pain, we're going to assume that you do have low back pain, and you're going to want to take extra care with your low back. So draw up through your pelvic floor, draw your navel back through your spine so that you have that extra support in this pose. We're going to be doing Sphinx Pose, so you're going to be walking your elbows back underneath your shoulders. And then you've got your elbows underneath your shoulders. Here is the pose. Okay, so couple of options in this pose. You can, if you have neck issues, you can use a block and rest your forehead on the block. That releases some of the tension for your neck. And you could also place a bolster underneath your chest here. This would work better for men and for women with flat chests. So that's an option as well. Okay. So the relationship between low back pain and depression is understandably strong. It is depressing to be in chronic pain for any length of time. And in this yin yoga class for low back pain, we'll attend to the tissues of the low back and also take some postures that will counteract depression. Additionally, we'll practice some yin yoga postures that will promote good posture, such as this one, that will support your low back and prevent low back pain. And this posture also, because it opens the chest, is good to counter depression as well. Okay, so we're going to lie down on your stomach now. And feel the effect of this posture in your body. And then for the next pose, you can either do Sphinx again. So coming up into Sphinx again, remembering to support your low back by drawing up through your navel and up through your pelvic floor. Or you can come up a little higher into Seal Pose by taking your hands out to the side, okay? We won't be here as long in this pose. And always, as always, you can come down into Sphinx Pose if it gets too much, okay? So this is quite curative for the low back and also really a great antidote to depression. We are a culture that is overstimulated. We're constantly searching for stimulation. And as we practice yin yoga, we're doing something different. Can we soften into the subtlety of our interior landscape? This can be challenging when we're experiencing chronic pain. In fact, oftentimes we can spend a lot of time avoiding, turning away from, or bracing against chronic pain. So what would it be like to soften into and to fully experience the chronic pain? So as you hold Seal Pose here or come into Sphinx Pose again, ask yourself, what does the pain actually feel like? Where exactly do you feel the pain? Is it burning? Is it pulsing? Is it throbbing? Does it have a color? Is it constant? Or is there an ebb and flow to it? So really tune into the interior experience and sensation of it. Open all your sensations, all your senses to it. And then you can slowly lower down and feel the reverberation of this pose in your body. And then you're going to come onto your back. So you're going to roll over onto your back. So lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. And if you have tight shoulders, it could be nice to have a bolster to one side. You're going to press into your feet, lift your hips, take them over to the right corner of your mat. And you can either lower them onto the bolster or down onto the ground. The bolster just makes it easier for your shoulder girdle. And you're going to rest here. So yin yoga, as I've mentioned a few times in this class, is not an aesthetic practice. So can we be intelligent in our yin yoga practice for low back pain? Can we feel the stability of our bones and the floor and soften our muscles, our jaws, our throats, our brows, our eyes, and soften into the whole experience? Can we release ambition and striving, any straining to impress and desperately seeking to improve? And then you can come back center, untuck your hips, feel the effects of the posture in the center. And then press into your feet, lift your hips, take them over to the left side. You can lower your knees over to the right side. And if your shoulder really pops up off the ground, then that's a great reason to use the bolster or stack up blankets over on the other side. Okay, so you're going to release this pose from your body. Untuck your hips and take that bolster, if you've got one, or your stack of pillows or blankets, and place it underneath your knees. And you're going to take your final resting position. Okay, and then we're going to bend your knees. No, you're going to stay here actually, and I'm going to sit up and read you a poem while you continue to receive your practice and integrate it in Shavasana, corpse pose. This poem is called The Sea's Repeated Gesture, and it's by Denise Levertov. Stroking its blue shore throughout the night, patient, patient, determined rhetoric that never persuades, the rocks unwilling to be pebbles, nights and days and centuries passing before the pebbles dwindle to join the sand itself at last barring the sea's way into the land, an island forming from the silt. Yet still all this night and all the nights of our life, the sea stroking its blue shore. Patient, patient. So gradually allow your breath to deepen, wiggle your fingers and your toes, and then slowly make your way up to a seated position so we can finish the class together. We'll finish with our mantra, with your left palm up and your right palm down, making space with breath and a sigh. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to the happiness and freedom for all. So if you made it all the way to the end, I'd love to know who my fabulous finishers are. So make sure you put "my lower back feels so much better" in the comments, and then I'll know that you actually did the class and finished it, and we love to respond to your comments there as well. If you like the class, give it a thumbs up, and we love it too when you share this class with those people who could benefit from it, because there are a lot of, as I said in the teachings today, pretty much everybody experiences low back pain at some point in their lives. So please share this class widely. There are lots of people. Tim, you can share this with the people on your soccer team. I know that those guys have low back pain. They've got lots of pains. We could do a whole series for the soccer guys. So our next live class is February 23rd at 9 a.m. Pacific, and you guys can all get your Ganeshas out for that one so that we have a better time than the last one. Remove all those obstacles. February 23rd at 9 a.m. Pacific, we're going to do yin yoga for legs. And thank you so much for your donations. They really do make a huge difference in our life. Thank you, Rochelle and Nise, Diane and Donna. These are freely given, but this is what we do for a living. So your donations, they put a roof over our head and food on our table, and they help to buy things like lights and batteries and pay our electric bill and things like that, right? Things that actually make this show possible. So we really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And relieving back pain is not something that we can do with just one video. I'm going to show you a good, better, and best way to do that. So good is make sure that you're subscribed and you have those notifications turned on, because then every Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific, our class will show up in your YouTube subscription feed. Better would be to go to melissawest.com/backpain, and then I can send you 7 days of my best yoga classes for back pain. And again, I say I've heard from so many people recently who have gone through that and said that it's really, really helped them with their back pain. So I know it can help you too. And I'm putting together some new ones of those as well. I just finished one for upper back pain. So if you go to melissawest.com/upper-back-pain, you can get that. And I'm probably going to do another one for back pain. Maybe we'll call it back pain 2 or something. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And then the best way is to become a part of our membership community, because that's where I can give you the most personal support within the context of our community. There we have over 20 classes for back pain, including specialized ones for sciatica and herniated discs. But then we have 10 live classes a month. You can get the support from other community members all around the world. And it's a great community of wonderful people. And we can really be connected there, and that we have the daily yoga connection there, where we curate content for you every single day of the year. And it's just a great place where you can get that daily support. So I'm sending you much love from beautiful British Columbia. It's been raining here so much lately. I can't think of when it stopped raining, but I'm grateful for the rain, because I know there are parts of the world that really need it right now. So sending you much love from wet British Columbia. May your joy be as deep as our Pacific Ocean. May you be as grounded as the old growth trees in our forest, and may you be as strong as our mountains. Om Shanti, Namaste.
Melissa would love to hear your questions and thoughts. Please leave your comments below the video. Thank you for your reviews on iTunes and YouTube. Your reviews help us to share yoga and a yoga lifestyle with others around the world. If you have a question for Melissa, you can leave a voice message at melissawest.com, and Melissa may answer it in an upcoming blog.